This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from the Gateway City in Busch Stadium. Big crowd on a beautiful, hot, steamy night in the Midwest. It's St. Louis and Arizona in Game 2. And welcome to the broadcast booth. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and Jim Hayes is with us as well. Game 1, back from the break, and some of the similar issues the Cardinals had prior to the All-Star break. In particular, lack of offense. Cardinals fell short last night, only 4 hits. Now you got to turn the page, Brad, and tonight they've got Dakota Hudson on the mound, and it's interesting, contrasting styles of both these starters.
It really is. Well, Dakota Hudson is one of the best in the game at getting the ground ball, and even with the offensive struggles, if the starting pitchers do what they've been doing recently, you've got a chance. 60.5%. It's the nasty sinker. He throws it in any count, and it gets results. Defense loves playing behind a guy like Dakota Hudson.
Ground ball percentage 60.5% for that young man, Dakota Hudson. And take a look on the other side, fly ball percentage and the leaders in the National League.
Merrill Kelly, the starter today for Arizona, second in the league, only behind Jeff Samardzija. And I know this, home runs are fly balls. Ground balls are tough to get out of the ballpark. I'd rather be on the ground ball side of this one.
Boy, Brad, you're just getting better and better, because that's just a great segue, because the studio is going to talk about, you guessed it, home runs. Baseball coming up. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The umbrella giveaway. Perfect for a day like today. Red hot here in the Midwest with Brad Thompson and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. 91 degrees our game time temperature. And the Cardinals, Brad, turn to the right-hander, the youngster. It's been up and down. The ups have been really good. Some of the downs really bad, but that's all part of the learning process here for Dakota Hudson.
Yeah, it really is. And I've been very impressed with Dakota Hudson. I love the fact that early on, I think that he went through a little bit of that, trying to be too fine. Recently, we've seen him be more trusting of his stuff. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Dakota Hudson: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. And we know that fastball is sinking like crazy. Tons of ground balls for Dakota Hudson.
There's a look at Torey Lovullo and his lineup presented by GMC. Dyson at the top, Marte and Escobar. Then Walker, who homered last night. Long-time MLB vet Adam Jones. Jake Lamb, the big home run. That was against Andrew Miller late. Then Nick Ahmed, Carson Kelly, and the pitcher's spot. So here is the left fielder, Gerard Dyson. Longtime Kansas City Royal. He's hitless in his last 8 ABs, couple of strikeouts. And he'll lead things off. He is a speedster. He's got 20 steals this year. Was kept off the bases last night in Game 1. Knowing that, Carpenter out in the grass at third, and the first pitch taken for a ball, and we are underway here in St. Louis. Well, the Cardinals, the fan base, yeah, the broadcast. We need something positive. Let's go, huh?
Today's the day, right?
Okay.
I mean, no better time, no better day than today. Everybody showed up here at Busch Stadium today. Everybody's tuned in to watch a victory, to see maybe an offensive onslaught. All starts with this young man right here, though.
Always in right field. 6:15 first pitches can be awfully tough, and that's Jose Martinez tonight. As Dyson with the check swing did go around. Home plate umpire is John Lipka. Adam Hamari at first. Todd Tichenor at second. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, he's down at third.
Tell you what, those shadows, if everything goes the way that it should affect the Diamondbacks more than it does the Cardinals. Dakota Hudson, tons of ground balls. Merrill Kelly, their guy, lot of fly balls.
Right on cue, the ground ball, and Dyson retired at first base. Carpenter well off the line at third, made the play to his left. The Cardinals defense around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. So Neal in left, Fowler in center, Martinez in right. On the infield, the aforementioned Matt Carpenter, DeYoung at short, Colton Wong at second, Paul Goldschmidt at first, and Matt Wieters is behind the plate. And the batter is Ketel Marte.
He's a switch hitter, hitting .310 from both sides. So Brad, on the year, if you add it up, he's batting .310.
Well, I was trying to do that math upstairs.
I understand that.
I do appreciate you breaking it down for me. That was never my strong suit. Pretty nice swing of the bat last night. 2-run home run off of John Gant in the 8th inning.
From the right side, he's got 9, and from the left, he's got 12, and that got out in a hurry. Line drive homer just over the bullpen, then dropped down into the Cardinal bullpenners, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. And a base hit into right field. Well, it's funny. It's been the same, and you can say sabermetrics, you could say old school, new school. Here's the bottom line. You fall behind 2-0 to major league hitters, they do damage.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not a double or a home run, commanding counts is big. Now, I will say this, Dakota Hudson has a little bit of a leg up on the competition due to the fact that his ball moves so much. I mean, he can fall behind 1-0, 2-0. Oftentimes, he can use a hitter's aggressiveness against them. You know, that big swing, just missing the barrel with the sinker. But Marte not missing that one here, and it's time to just get right back into account.
Here's Eduardo Escobar. So 2 and 3 in the lineup are switch hitters for Arizona. Said it so many times this year, whether it's Hudson or John Gant, but those that can get the ground ball, you put yourself in a position, and you know this better than anybody. You're a ground ball specialist. You get the chance to get the potential of a double play.
That's why you never, you know, guys on first, who cares? You feel like you're always 1 pitch away from, in this situation, the inning being over.
There's your ground ball, but Wong couldn't come up with it. They do get the lead man. Would have been an outstanding play by Wong on a hard hit ball to backhand. Couldn't come up with it, and the inning continues to Christian Walker.
You always make sure in a situation like this you're at least getting one. This one hops up on Colton Wong. We've seen him make plays like that in the past. Not able to get the handle on this one, but does a great job of not panicking at all. Finds the ball at his feet and gets the lead runner.
Here's Christian Walker batting .263. Extended his hit streak to a -6 last night. And this is the guy you don't want to see an inning extended to right now. 4 home runs. He's driven in 10 in his last 5 games. Talked about it last night. He is the replacement for Paul Goldschmidt after Goldie was traded to the Cardinals, and they said, well, from the Arizona perspective, we'll give this young man a shot. And he had put up some pretty good numbers down in the minor leagues. And the 1-0 pitch by Dakota Hudson. Ground ball again, so 3 ground ball outs. Throw by Carpenter to Goldie. And the top of the lineup coming up for St. Louis. Carpenter back in that leadoff spot. Then Martinez and DeYoung. No damage done here in the top of the first. St. Louis, they've got to get the offense going. Does it start tonight? We're about to find out. Matt Carpenter at the top of the Cardinal lineup. And right now, Mike Schilt trying anything to get the offense going. So Carpenter back at the top, and a look at Mike Schilt's lineup presented by GMC. Carpenter, Martinez, and DeYoung. Goldschmidt batting cleanup. Then O'Neill, Fowler, Wieters, Wong, and Hudson. Well, what do we know about this right-hander, Merrill Kelly?
Well, Merrill Kelly mixes it up. He's got a fastball. He's got a good cutter that he likes as well. And he throws his off-speed for strikes. And that's one of the big reasons he's had a little bit of success. But I'll tell you what, he walks a lot of guys on the road. It's crazy how different the splits are home to road. Being patient might be a good thing for the Cardinals today.
Hyundai pitch arsenal, the fastball, the curve, cutter, and change. And Carpenter looks at strike 2, nothing at 2, and with 2 strikes, third baseman will shift over to the right side, and they'll put all 4 on the right side of the infield. Drop down a bunt with 2 strikes. Why not? Do anything. He had 4 hits last night.
Get something going.
or just poke it through. You know, play pepper with it to the left side of the infield. But at this point, you've got to get something going. The way that this season has gone, and the Cardinals, again, only 4 hits last night. And there it is. I mean, you just poke it to the left side. It's maybe a double, as we've seen before.
I think he had a 52-foot double.
Yeah. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout on a pitch that was away.
It's a changeup right here from Merrill Kelly. It's up. The speed just got him off out in front, and with the left side open, just can't put it out there.
Cardinals have lost 4 straight here at Busch Stadium, tying the longest streak here at home this year, and overall 9 of 13 at Busch. So 4 hits or less for the 16th time last night. Now think about that. 4 hits or less for the 16th time, and we are in game number 90. And to put it in perspective, the most in franchise history for a full year was 18 times 4 hits or less. That was in the early 1900s. So, you know, when you look at issues with the club, certainly last night reared its ugly head again. A lack of offense with St. Louis.
Well, to compound the frustration is you're getting a lot of good starting pitching. You got a guy last night in Daniel Ponce de Leon who was fantastic. Gave you 6 2/3, only gave up 1 run, gives you a chance to win, and you just can't scrape out enough. Got to figure out ways, to your first point. I mean, it's somehow, some way, and maybe it'll be unorthodox. And we've seen a lot of it. When Mike Schilt gets anybody on base, he's running them. He's trying to get somebody in scoring position, but the big hit has eluded the Cardinals.
And the 3-0 pitch. I would say that anything's on the table right now. Who you start, hit and runs, stealing bases, bunting, hitting behind runners. I mean, anything that you can to try to get something going. Because before too long, you look up and you've got 2 months left in the regular season, and it's pedal to the metal to finish up the year.
Well, the Cardinals have been very fortunate to be at this point right now as close as they are in the standings. I mean, it could be way out of hand the way that they've played. Now, the Central has been topsy-turvy, but you can't expect that to last. You have to make changes.
And a 1-out walk to Jose Martinez. The Diamondbacks defensively with Gerard Dyson, 1 error in left, Marte none in center, Adam Jones 4 in right. Lamb, Ahmed, Escobar, and Walker on the infield. Carson Kelly is behind the plate. Remember, Carson Kelly at one point was rated as the best defensive minor league catcher in the game. And those that follow the Diamondbacks are not talking so much about his defense, but his offense, which has been very good this year.
Just given the opportunity. It's all about reps. It's all about ABs. He always swung it well in the minor leagues, but in the big leagues here, you know how it is behind Yachty. You're not getting too many ABs.
All right, now here's Paul DeJong facing the shift with 3 on the left side, and they're holding the runner on the right side. Now, I understand he can swing and miss a lot. You don't have good speed at first base. But why not start the runner and force him to try to hit the ball to the right side? Get it going. Ground ball to short. Out there, the turn, and not in time. Turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, it's a pretty simple one here for the Cardinals. See it and hit it. I mean, there are scouting reports, there's tendencies, there's videos. You know what? These guys, for the most part, have gotten here because they see it, they hit it. See something up in the zone. You see a fastball early in a count. Let it rip. Go for it. Be aggressive. And then when you get a little bit deeper into a count, if you have 2 strikes, shorten up. Try something, put it in play, but it's see it and hit it.
So here's Goldschmidt, hitless last night. I thought the game, in a way, was a microcosm of how things have gone this season for St. Louis. The moment was there for Paul. didn't come through. He has struggled, obviously, coming into play tonight. You had Andrew Miller facing a lefty, giving up his 4th home run this season. That is of concern. And the Cardinals lost the game. These are guys that you're counting on. There's no other way to put it.
No, there isn't. And it's not necessarily to put pressure on one guy, but you know how much one guy can alleviate pressure off of everybody else in the lineup. That's the guy holding the bat right there. And he's been that guy before. He's been that linchpin his entire career. You got to believe it's going to get going. But you're right. It was a glaring one yesterday. And Andrew Miller, I mean, he's been throwing the ball great. But in that case, it was a slider that just hung up.
1 ball, 1 strike. I've said it a lot this year where I've watched a series of at-bats with Goldschmidt and I say, man, he's there, he's close, and then it doesn't happen. It's been very, very befuddling for him, the team, those that watch, to figure out exactly what's wrong. Now you can get into the numbers and see how teams are pitching him. Hard in, up, soft away, which is what a lot of teams will do anyway, and generally speaking, but that is what has been betraying Paul Goldschmidt. And a ground ball backing up at 3rd, and the air by Lamb is 2nd of the year. Make him pay.
Just gets caught in between hops right here. This thing skips on Lamb and ends up boxing it. And you are right. Make them pay. The Cardinals have been gifted some opportunities. Happened last night.
Yep.
And weren't able to cash in. Now is the time. Get a little bit of momentum.
Tyler O'Neill getting the start in left field tonight. 1 home run. Driven in 4, batting .258. Tyler 6 for 20 here in the month of July. Couple of walks and a double. Takes a pitch just a bit high as Carson Kelly looks back at the home plate umpire and said, "Are you sure about that?"
I'd like to see him flick in another one of those just for a strike and give it a ride.
The 1-0. O'Neill hits it down the left field line. It is fair. Just on the line. 1 run in. There comes another. Relay to the plate. 2-0 St. Louis. He made them pay after the air, and it's 2-0 Cardinals. The air by Jake Lamb to extend the inning to Tyler O'Neill, and he comes through.
I mean, this is a fastball. It's in off the plate, pulls the hands in, and you don't have to hit a rocket to make something happen. You got to make contact, though, and he pulls it in, keeps it fair. And that big hit that the Cardinals haven't been getting recently, the one that's been eluding them, they get in the 1st inning.
Now Dexter Fowler. And Fowler looks at a ball a little bit low. Hitless last night, batting .250, 10 home runs. He's driven in 32. The shift here for Dexter. Cardinals have their first lead in the last 26 innings overall, last 23 here at home. Which is, you know, something that it becomes almost a mental thing where you can't get over the hump to have a lead, be aggressive, all those things. Well, now they do. It's 2-0 here in the 1st inning.
There's a lot more fun like this, and you got a 2-0 count right here, an opportunity to do more. Base open, you can't expect a cookie, but you got to be ready for one.
I was asking the question about you know, batters and what they do on a 2-0 count. In the National League, the average is .362. On 3-0, the average is .383. And that's all toll in the National League. And he draws a walk. Two walks here in this first inning. And last night it was Matt Wieters going deep. The switch hitter, his third home run from that side of the plate. He's got 6 total, and he almost homered later in the game. Cardinals are hopeful it's going to be a short stint for Yadier Molina on the IL. But at this point, you do get the veteran, Matt Wieters, to fill in.
Very rarely is a team fortunate enough to be able to hand it off to somebody like that. Matt Wieters has been doing this a long time, doing it at a high level, and you know, this job was a different one for him, to come in and back up a guy like Yadi when he's used to playing a whole lot more. But he has done a very good job when given the opportunity, and some huge hits. That was an impressive home run last night. I mean, that was a fastball and it was up in the zone, but it was away, and he just stays back and just drives it. Professional hitter.
Kubota Power Stats looking at Wieters as a switch hitter. It's been a very good career. I congratulated him the other day as he just went over 10 years of Major League service, and that's a big number for any player.
It's a huge milestone right there. It's hard to get one day.
Yep.
Let alone 10 years.
2 outs, 2 on, and Wieters looks at a ball inside. So the error by Jake Lamb looms large here in this inning. Extended it to O'Neill. Muscled a double down the left field line to score 2. That's just a bit low. This strike zone is tight.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, Kelly getting a little frustrated out there. His third baseman makes an error. He gets a couple of pitches that he thinks are strikes, and they're not called. That frustration could boil over, cause you to make a mistake here.
And the 2-0 pitch, way inside. Before this year, Merrill Kelly had never pitched in the major leagues. Pitched in the States, the minor leagues, for 5 seasons, and he pitched in the KBO in Korea from 2015 through 18, and actually led them to the series title a year ago. And Wieters on 3-0 pops it back in foul. So the reason that he decided to go overseas is Kelly, apparently, I guess the other Kelly, Carson, thought that that was going to be in the seats, and that was playable.
Yeah, might not have seen it at all. Merrill Kelly saw it. He gave chase. You talk about having another life. Cardinals took advantage of one thing. This one here, yeah, Carson Kelly doesn't move. Merrill sees that Carson's not moving, and he gives it a whirl.
Oh, boy.
I think that one hurt.
That's twice now he should be out of this inning. Apparently Carson just never saw it off the bat. 2 on and a 3-1 pitch. Bases are loaded. 3 walks in the inning. Since the error, the RBI double, and back-to-back walks, and nowhere to put Colton Wong, the 8th place batter. So this pitcher, this right-hander, he wanted a chance to be a starter, and most teams told him he would be a swingman. He was drafted by the Orioles in 2007 out of high school, by the Indians in 2009 out of junior college, went to Arizona State, became an 8th round pick by the Tampa Bay Rays. All loaded up. Wong came off the bench last night as a pinch hitter and singled to center field. Bases loaded, 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Owner of a couple of grand slams and a very good average with the bases loaded, 297, 1 for 5 in this spot in 2019. And the 1-1. In the air, left side. Will it get out of play? Lamb over and can't come up with it. Well, the ball will find you, won't it?
Yes, it will. Tough play if he was going to come down with that one, but I'm sure one that he really wanted to get to kind of get back into the good graces, help his pitcher out, trying to check his surroundings. It just comes up a tiny bit short on this one.
Merrill Kelly, born in Texas, grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, then went to Arizona State. And the 5th player from Arizona to play high school, college, and now for the Diamondbacks, all 3 levels from the state of Arizona. And Wong is swinging a miss and a strikeout with the bases loaded. And the inning comes to a close. Big hit by Tyler O'Neill, 2-0 after 1. Will complete your next visit to Busch. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem special check-in offers, and more. The ballpark app. Get it today, and we check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, Adam Wainwright was scratched from his start yesterday with a minor back issue. The plan is for Waino to start tomorrow with Miles Michaelis and Jack Flaherty being pushed back a day. Waino told me he experienced back spasms after laying in bed and watching TV. He knew it was nothing major. He said, I've pitched with way worse back situations. I told Schulte I want to pitch really well for a long time, and I feel like I'm on the verge of doing that. I just didn't want to have a setback. Dan, Waino said he was actually getting up to brush his teeth before bed Wednesday, and he had, quote, some electrophiles going through his lat. Apparently the electrophiles are all gone.
Wait a minute, what?
Electrophiles is how Adam Wainwright described his back spasms.
From brushing his teeth?
Well, he said he got up and something didn't feel right, and he was going to brush his teeth, and he felt some in his back, and he described that, Dan, as electrophiles. But the good news is Waino will start tomorrow. That's been confirmed, and the electrophiles are gone.
So he goes tomorrow.
That is correct.
And then he has his charity event at Topgolf.
He has a charity event at Topgolf after the game, and he is raising a ton of money with his foundation to do all kinds of work in St. Louis. As you know, Danny, his foundation has done a lot around the globe in terms of getting water sources in countries where they don't have clean water. He's doing a lot in St. Louis in terms of getting people who can't find adequate food, decent food.
That one, thank you, Jimmy. That one caught Jones in the hip. He was telling me about the all-win campaign, which has a chance to be huge this year, and that off the hip. And he said a lot of the proceeds, he wanted to make sure and get the word out when we were going back and forth, but he said a lot of the proceeds, just so fans know, will stay right here in St. Louis. They've got feeding of 100 families for a year. Going to build a sustainable farm for a school and community in St. Louis. He said, quote, I'm fired up for this.
He is so passionate about, well, first of all, everything that he does. Like, Adam doesn't half-step anything, and he is all in with Big League Impact. The Topgolf event's going to be great. A bunch of his teammates going to be out there in support. A bunch have their own charities that they've linked to him at bigleagueimpact.org.
And if you'd like to see the pictures and video, it's not just a guy that is putting his name and saying, well, I've started a foundation and we're going to raise a bunch of money. He is all in. Go to bigleagueimpact.org. Big League Impact, all one word, .org. And you'll see the video and the pictures, and Adam is literally getting his hands dirty. That pitch taken high. 2 balls, no strikes on Jake Lamb.
It's a huge inning here for Dakota Hudson. The Cardinals have a little bit of momentum for the first time in a while. Ends up hitting the first batter. Be a really nice time for a well-placed sinker. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Quick inning here. Get back to the bat. Keep Kelly on the ropes.
First inning, we saw 3 ground ball outs with Dakota Hudson after the single by Ketel Marte, and that was the only base hit for Arizona. 2-0 our score on a 2-out RBI double by Tyler O'Neill. 3-1. Cardinals starting play tonight, a game below 500, 44-45. Win last night. Arizona now 2 above 500, 47-45. Nasty pitch there on the 3-1 to make it a full count.
Good slider on a fastball count. Lamb's geared up. He's looking away. He's looking for a fastball up, out, over, and he gets that slider down and in.
And the 3-2 on its way here from Dakota Hudson. Does a chase and looks at ball 4. So he's hit a man and now a walk to start the top of the second. Reminder that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Shortstop Nick Ahmed. He's reached base safely in a career high 13 straight. The Cardinals want to talk about this. Nobody out, 2 runners on.
Yeah, you're going to make sure, go over your signs first of all, know what you're doing with the runner on second base, and just kind of get him honed right back into the strike zone. Dakota Hudson this year has been so tough on righties. That sinker just coming into him. Got to expect here, if you're on the left side of the infield, be on your toes.
I bet we see a triple play at some point with Dakota Hudson on the mound.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm in.
I bet we'd see it.
That'll give you the electro tingles or whatever it was.
It really would. You have to go floss.
You do have some dance moves.
I can boogie, Tim McCarver would say. And the 1-0 pitch now to Nick Ahmed. Ahmed 2 hits in each of his last 3 games, and Hudson falling behind 2-0. Now we mentioned that on 2-0 the league average is very high. Against Dakota Hudson it's 250. And you'll take that.
Well, and for me, while it's not ideal to fall behind, you don't want to be 2-0. But he gets the hitters aggressive, and Dakota has such movement that they get guys committed already, and then they miss the barrel and get that nice little 2-0 ground ball.
2-1. Goldschmidt has got the sun right on his face in a few steps. Carpenter in at third, and that's taken low. Carson Kelly on deck. This time last year, Kelly and Hudson were battery mates in Memphis.
Things change quickly, don't they?
They do. You can play a long time and those players will tell you, boy, it felt like it went in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Well, both guys at this point thriving. Carson Kelly, you know, if he was going to play, he needed to go somewhere else. Dakota Hudson has had the opportunity to be a part of this rotation here, and he's done a very good job.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Hudson to Nick Ahmed. Up the middle and a base hit. Jones around third. He'll score. The throw is not cut off, and with that, Ahmed to second base. So it puts another man in scoring position.
This one here, it's the sinker. It's 3-1. It's middle. It's down. But in a situation like that, he knows what he's going to get. He's trying to stay right up the box, and he gets it. Fowler comes up throwing to third. And you're right. If this thing's cut off, obviously you're able to hold him there. Didn't really have that great of a shot to get Lamb at third base.
And it takes the double play and that potential out, and the 8th place hitter Carson Kelly. Interesting, Kelly played in a handful of games with the Cardinals. Matter of fact, a total of 63 and hit 154. He's playing in game number 63 with the Diamondbacks, and look at what he's done by being an everyday player.
It's reps. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Been a great hitter all throughout the minor leagues and showing it off now at the big league level.
The importance of playing every day.
Well, it's also important to be in a situation where you have that chance. And what I mean by that is there are some teams where, you know, the playoff aspirations for the Diamondbacks change quite a bit right now. But coming into the season, I mean, they were going to give some young guys some reps, some opportunities. There are other teams where you just can't give a guy a chance because and let him go through ups and downs because every game means so much.
I would say this, and I don't know this for a fact at all. This is just me guessing, but Molina's deal is up after next year. Barring any serious injury, I would anticipate, or barring a serious downturn in what he does, I would anticipate him playing.
Well, me too.
And I know that at the initial press conference on the extension was talked about that this will be my last deal, and now they're getting the bullpen ready, it looks like, just in case. But having watched Yachty play and called just about every one of his games, the guy loves this game. He wants to compete. He wants to play. And so now the guy that's got to be the backup in waiting is Andrew Knizner.
Well, Knizner's another guy that, I mean, again, he's one of the reasons that they were able to deal Carson Kelly. They felt like they had a great young catcher in the pipeline. But a tough job when you want to get better and better at your craft, and that's behind the plate. That's also hitting, and you get few reps. That's why all the reps that you get when you're at the big league level, you get the chance to go out and catch everybody's bullpens. Well, that seems like grunt work. It's important for him to get to know his staff and know these guys and know the tendencies. You learn when you get the opportunity to.
18 pitches, 6 of which have been strikes here in this second inning, and another ball. 19 pitches. And Michael Wacha begins to throw in the Cardinal pen. As Jimmy reported, Adam Wainwright will go tomorrow. And you know, you look into that move, it tells you Daniel Ponce de Leon probably staying in the Cardinal rotation. There aren't off days coming up, so looks like Wacha to the pen for the time being.
Well, in a situation like this, and you hope it rectifies itself quickly with a ground ball, and Dakota's gonna, you know, be able to get out of it. But with Ponce doing what he did yesterday, I mean, he was the long guy really out of the bullpen in that spot start, and he's done nothing but impress.
And a ground ball, a play at the plate. They'll get the shore out at home, and that's the first out in the inning. Well, we've said some glowing things about Dakota Hudson, and rightfully so, but the bottom line is on this too, if you don't throw strikes, you can't stay in the game.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And the one thing that he's got going for him is it goes back to the sinker. It goes back to being that one pitch away, but you got to pound the strike zone. You have to be aggressive. You can't continue to get into these hitters counts. But if he can keep this right here and get a chance to go back out there the next inning, that'd be a nice little momentum change for him as well, getting into the trouble then getting out of it.
There's Dyson, who grounded to third, big hole on the left side. He could just slap it that way. And that's what he tried to do the first time up. Carpenter had to go to his left and made a pretty good play on it. Dyson has been held hitless thus far in the series. Lamb, Ahmed, Kelly all aboard. Outfield not very deep, and they are straight away. Way out in front. Good pitch.
I'll say this, when Hudson has had his back against the wall at times this year, and he was close a long time ago being ticketed back to Memphis, he's found a way, and then he went on a run. And the Cardinals actually have been very good with him on the mound. They've won 8 of his last 9 starts. They pitch in the dirt. Mentioned that Dyson can fly, and because of that, he's only grounded into 1 double play this year. And during that time of those 9 starts, Dakota himself has posted a 2.63 ERA. So he's done the job.
He's been really good. And, I mean, to the point, he's bared down. Runners in scoring position. He's been good. The falling behind a bit, though, has bit him in this ball game. But he is a guy that can have a long inning and then go on a run. We've seen it already this year. Saw it a couple times in spring training as well, as he was, trying to win this job. He'd have a couple games where he'd get in trouble like this, get out of it, and then go cruise.
Exactly. Here's a 1-2 pitch now to Dyson. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He needed that one. He gets his first strikeout of the night. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if we're in the 6th inning or 7th and Dakota Hudson is still pitching.
I agree. Well, with his stuff, he has a tendency to have very quick innings. Now, this is a long one. He hasn't been pounding the strike zone. Makes a great pitch right there on the curveball down under the zone.
And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he had a big inning go against him, because you get that with young pitchers. It's part of the process. And a fly ball lifted out to right, battling the sun, Martinez, and he's got it. Makes the catch off the bat of Marte. And Hudson, he bent, didn't break. Diamondbacks get on the board. It's 2-1. Fox Sports Go, take us with you wherever you may be. Summer vacations, ball games, softball games this summer. Take us with you. Download the app and you can check out Cardinals baseball. Brian Shapiro, our producer, says, Dan, tell the score. It's 2-1. And then tell us about Lou Fuse. Lou Fuse brings us this date in Cardinals history. See more at Fuse.com. And a great player was born today in Puerto Rico, and that's Yadier Molina. Happy birthday, Yadi. Our Lou Fuse, this date in Cardinals history. By the way, Stan McNeil of the Cardinals magazine came by, and he said, did you get the yearbook yet? And I said, no. And he said, well, here's a copy. I said, thank you very much. And I was thumbing through it and then got really, really involved into the article with Yadier Molina in the Cardinal yearbook. And it's, I think it gets into some of the things that are juicy that fans are really going to like. He thought he'd be drafted by the Reds. Didn't happen. The one that shocked me, he came close to quitting baseball many, many times. This is Dakota Hudson. Speaking of the Reds, he did make peace, or did he, with Brandon Phillips. That's addressed in there.
That's a tease right there.
And he, I wrote this down, he quote, hated Carlos Beltran even after they first became teammates, and then that changed. It's really an interesting read on Yadier Molina as he's featured on the cover of the Cardinals magazine, the 2019 yearbook edition. And if you get a chance, Steve Zesh and Stan McNeil, Gabe Kiley, they do a great job with that going inside Cardinals baseball. It's really a fascinating article on Yadier Molina.
Tell you what, the one about him thinking about quitting multiple times a game of baseball. That, I mean,
well, I would have gotten on a plane.
Yeah,
and
talking about changing the landscape.
Yadi, I'm packing your bags and you're coming home to St. Louis. That's it.
Can't imagine that guy quitting anything at all.
No,
he's a gamer.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Fisk, Carter, Pudge, Yadi, the only catchers in the history of the game with those numbers. And that's why when we talk about him being a Hall of Famer, that adds to it. As Hudson grounds it softly to second. I thought this when Albert Pujols came through, and it was right before his at bat in which he hit the home run. And it was a personal observation by me, and I thought to myself, this could be the last time I call an Albert Pujols at bat. And I called his first home run and multiple hits and home runs after that and great moments. And it made me reflect on watching him. We will, as a fan base and as broadcasters, use it as a former teammate of Yadi's, look back and say, and it could be, you know, the year that he retires, year after, 5 years, 10, 20. But we will sit back and say, man, was that guy good, and were we lucky to watch him play? Because I don't know, Brad, who else I'd put in the conversation. You have to watch him day in and day out, the little things that he does. But he's the greatest defensive catcher I've ever seen, and it's not even close.
Well, I think it's a great reminder to people also to not be complacent in what you see, because I think that when Albert came back, it was one of those reminders like, man, that was special. Every at bat was special. Well, that's how Yadi is too. Behind the plate, he does things. You and I were having a conversation earlier about how hard it is to do that job behind the plate and to make it look so easy. He's an artist is what he is.
I said the words I think I used to describe Pujols, and I kind of just said it quietly, and it was almost to myself, except there's a microphone going out to
Gotta be careful with that.
A few million people watching. But I said,
how many?
I miss him.
You should.
Watching Albert, I miss him. Miss watching the man play. Here's a 1-2. And again with this shift against Carpenter, 4 on the right side of the infield. So that left side is wide open. It's enticing. Play Pepper, choke up, put it in play left side.
Well,
why not?
The first at bat, it was a changeup out that way. Had he been able to stay back, he certainly could have done so. Dan, I was going to ask you this in the first inning, but the timing seemed a little bit off. You mentioned playing Pepper. How many kids out there that are playing baseball right now, have any clue what Pepper is? Pepper is an underused tool.
Strikeout number 2 for Carpenter, 3 tonight for Kelly. He used to play it all the time. He used to play flip a lot too, which is what Jose Oquendo, for fans that would come to the ballpark early, he'd have 2 or 3 guys and you get in a circle and you don't use your non-catching hand. You got your glove and you got one hit and you got to flip it to somebody. Sometimes hard, sometimes soft. Guys have to dive, whatever, but it's a fun game to play to soften your hands.
Well, and it's one of those things, and Pepper's the same way too. You almost don't realize while you're doing it that you're getting better and better. You're getting better at handling the bat, fielding the ball up closely, being ready. But yeah, it's kind of a lost art.
Really is. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jose Martinez.
Talk about random games, Pepper and flip. I did see early today the Diamondback relievers out there playing fungo golf. So you grab a fungo bat, you pick a hole, you know, whatever it is, pick whatever your target. It's kind of a fun way to get your cardio in and swing the bat.
2-1 hit sharply, but there's Ahmed to his left, settles and makes the throw. 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. 2 innings in the books on a beautiful Saturday night here at Busch Stadium. It's 2-1. Dakota Hudson on the mound. Some of the numbers and some very good numbers coming into this start for young Dakota Hudson.
We got to get right back to that inning right there. We didn't see that in the second from Dakota Hudson. Saw some higher pitch counts, falling behind. All about commanding counts right now, pounding that bottom of the zone.
And that pitch taken low, and he had 25 pitches in that first half. And Phil Nichols, our cameraman, does not have a seat in the green seats, but somehow they allowed him in to take that shot. The speed of the game right behind home plate.
Always liked sitting behind the plate because you could see how the ball is moving. It's hard to get that feel from the sides. And it is a fast ball game. Like anything else, I always tell people, to get a healthy respect for something, you got to see it up close.
One ball and 2 strikes. And a strikeout to start the top of the third for Dakota Hudson. Escobar down, the third place hitter, brings in Christian Walker. Second strikeout for Dakota, his first looking tonight.
Well, that's more like it. It's just a breaking ball, curve ball right there on the outer half, and a good way to start this inning.
Walker from Norristown, Pennsylvania, drafted by the Dodgers, 49th round in '09, did not sign, and then played collegiately at South Carolina. He's an interesting story, and they think they've got something here because then he was drafted in the 4th round in 2012 and then put on waivers 3 different times. Selected by the Braves 2017, then later that year selected by the Reds from the Braves, and then selected by the Diamondbacks from the Reds. So a guy that was on waivers 3 different times and comes in with 18 home runs and 46 driven in.
I think he might have found himself a home here.
You bet.
It's the funny thing about this game too is, look, you have no choice as to where you get drafted, who you get drafted by, and sometimes an organization for a guy just isn't a fit. Maybe you're log jam somewhere. Maybe you just have to change positions. But at some point, if you're good enough, you'll find a fit.
First pitch taken low by Adam Jones, 1 for his last 8. Two balls and no strikes.
Dakota Hudson now 6 for 14 first pitch strikes, and not exactly where you want to be. I mean, he's not a guy that always pounds the zone anyhow with the first pitch, but you'd like to see that get a little bit higher as we go on.
And there it is, 2-1. No pepper games. Remember seeing that plastered all over the walls of various stadiums in the minor leagues and even in the big leagues. Talking about pepper before.
I bet, and I'm sure around the area there are older ball fields where it just says on there, yeah, no pepper. I bet kids have to ask, Dad, what does that mean? Mom, what is that?
That's pepper down the left field line, and it hooks foul.
Now you got me wanting to play pepper. I got to be honest.
I think this day and age, and I can speak about this. I've got 4 young children. If the game is not organized, it seems like kids do not get together and play a lot.
What if you told them it was going to help them work on their launch angle? Do you think that would help?
It's a situation now, depending on really any sport, but you just don't see kids do that. Everything is so organized in sports and so much development at a young age, and practices. I mean, you just don't see a lot of kids practicing sports on their own. Some do. It's not a blanket statement on every child that's out there, and certainly you know about Jim Hayes and his child. I mean, he's the greatest ever according to Jim, but that is something that I just don't see. I mean, you drive by ballparks or fields and you don't see kids playing the game. Now they're playing other sports that they may enjoy, and I don't have enough time to talk about it. Tyler Hayes, Jim's son, you're the best.
Take after, though, your mother. Please, please, please. DeYoung coming up. Team Moses around the game. And our connection to the game, the St. Louis native Max Scherzer will skip tomorrow's start. Back tightness. Clean MRI. Corey Kluber started throwing, nearing his first bullpen session since the 1st of May. And the Angels, what a scene it was last night. A combined no-hitter in an evening in which they honored the life of Tyler Skaggs. Angels threw their 13th ever. And it was a combined no-hitter. And that was the first home game after the passing of Tyler Skaggs. And it was Skaggs' birthday. Felix Pena went 7 innings in relief. Second longest ever relief appearance in a combined no-no. Babe Ruth, by the way, had been ejected after facing one hitter back in 1917. Then Ernie Shore did the rest coming out of their pen. It was in 1917, and once the final out was recorded, all the players took their jerseys off. They all were wearing Skaggs' number and draped that on the mound. That rolls back into play, and that is, could be an error, could be a hit, probably an error on Kelly.
So when you have a ball like this, it's hit off the end of the bat, it is spinning so much. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it in the ground just spinning, and that's exactly what happens. Merrill Kelly is going after it. This hits his glove. It just kicks right off. I mean, it's a lot like a cue ball. This is going to be an error here on Merrill. And another break for the Cardinals.
Skaggs' mom, by the way, threw out the first pitch before the game. Trout had a 454-foot homer. They had 7 runs in the first inning. 13 total. And I bring that up for a specific reason.
Skaggs' birthday, 7/13.
So many things in this ball game. What an emotional moment, man. It's unfortunately the Cardinal organization knows far too well, what it's like to lose a player, and it's hard, and the season and life, nothing makes sense. But what a great tribute and what a great night, and there is no question that somebody was looking over the Angels last night, and it was Tyler Skaggs.
I know you were very close to that young man, Josh Hancock.
Absolutely, and when that happened, when he passed away, baseball didn't seem to matter.
In the air, left center, at the wall, and caught. What a catch. Gerard Dyson robbing Goldschmidt in left center and takes the potential home run away. Boy, what a play out there in left center by Dyson.
Dyson has to run a long way to get to this. He knows where he's at. He times his jump perfectly. That thing might just sneak right over the wall if, in fact, he doesn't do this. What a play.
Here's Tyler O'Neill. A double down the left field line with 2 outs after the error by
the third baseman Jake Lamb, and that gave the Cardinals at that time a 2-run lead.
This was big here. He ends up just pulling the hands in, keeps it fair but barely. The Cardinals have been just desperately needing somebody to get that big hit. He was able to get it early. Now the key is to continue to pile on. Look for cutters, look for sliders away. They show him in early. Got to be ready to drive the ball the other way also.
Three infielders on the left side. And the 1-1 is swung on and missed by O'Neill. One and two the count on Tyler O'Neill. Runner at first is Paul DeYoung, reached on the air by Kelly.
And O'Neill gives the fans a souvenir. Another big crowd on this Saturday night. Day game tomorrow. Homestand will continue on Monday with the Pirates here. And the 1-2 pitch. O'Neill hits it out to right. It's at the wall. Goodbye. Tyler O'Neill showing the strength to the opposite field. And it's a 2-run homer for St. Louis. His last home run was back on April 14th in the big leagues.
Tyler O'Neill gets one. It's a cutter. It's up. It's away. And he stays on it. Doesn't try to pull it. Drives it where it's pitched. Gets the spot start today in left field and has driven in all the runs.
That's why he intrigues you.
Yeah, this is more like it, by the way. This is fun. Piling on a little bit, scoring some runs.
Ties his career high with the 4 driven in. Did that against Kansas City on May 21st of 2018. So he's driven in 4 in the starting lineup, and the Cardinals enjoying now a 4-1 lead.
It's only the 3rd inning. That guy's going to get a few more opportunities today to add to that.
And a swing and a miss by Dexter Fowler. Brings in Wieters, who walked in the first inning in his first plate appearance, the switch hitting catcher. And a strike. So Tyler O'Neill, the opposite field home run. And you think about his power, and hopefully he's continuing to work out. It can't really tell.
Well, you know, it's during the season. I doubt he's doing much.
He muscled down the pitch the first time up for the double down the left field line, and then showing off the strength the opposite way. Yeah, really, he probably needs to get in the weight room and just get after it a little bit. And I'm sure you could give him some advice.
No, well, he comes to me for tips at times, you know, about the biceps especially.
Yeah, yeah. He actually came to me on some forearm work. And Tyler, hold on now. This is what I do.
Well, a student of his craft.
Yeah. You know, he's always trying to find out more, and you appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Well, and especially when you have, you know, a couple of guys like us that know, you know, everything about, you know, weightlifting and stuff like that.
That's in the dirt. I mean, the push-ups that we do between innings, I mean, that really caught the attention of MLB.
I mean, why just sit here for 3 hours doing nothing, eating snacks?
Well, I was shocked that they actually tested you.
Well,
after your career was over.
Honestly, I take it as a compliment.
You know, I mean, normally you don't hear about the testing going on in baseball with broadcasters, but you know, they came in, took you out for a half inning. You had to do what you had to do.
I'm looking, you know what, like I said, I appreciate the fact that they're doing that. I want a level playing field, too.
Absolutely. I mean, because sometimes with those workouts, the calls and the analysis that you have, it's exceptional, and you can see why there's been an uptick in that, and that's line foul. And you know, with those workouts comes the exceptional analysis that you have, and there was a spike in production. Okay, let's just call it what it is, and I had to meet with him and just tell him, look, it's natural, and
sometimes you just got to deal with it.
The guy is just coming into his own. And the 2-2 pitch. Grounded foul. But I think my forearm work with him has really paid off.
It really is. That strong top hand.
Yep.
Used it there.
And the biceps, obviously, that regimen you gave him is tremendous.
Yeah, it is nice. I love him getting, and that's going to be the story, honestly, of this second half. And there's plenty of guys that are going to be in on it, but opportunities, there's going to be a lot of them. Who's going to take it? Who's going to run? He gets a chance to start, and he does his thing.
I love seeing a lefty go the other way. Now, when we say that O'Neill does it and he hits it out of the ballpark, well, that's power. But when you have that beautiful left field swing,
finesse,
well, that's a good piece of big league swing right there. Good hitting. 8-pitch at bat there by Wieters. Nicely done. So, with that, a 2-out hit, and they extend the inning to Colton Wong. Wong, the stolen base leader on the club, has not been caught. He's got 14 of them. 6 bunt hits. That's second in the National League. Doesn't hit into many double plays, and don't have to worry about that in this spot, but he's 6th best in that. They'll play behind Wieters, and a off-speed pitch taken for a strike, and it's 1-1.
That hit we were just talking about by Matt Wieters, of him just taking that ball, driving it the other way. We've seen Colton Wong do a lot of that here recently, not trying to do too much. We know he's got big-time power still, especially to the pull side, but he's taking what the pitcher's giving him.
And it's hit out to right for a base hit. Wieters will stop at second base. Cardinals will at least get Hudson through the order here in the bottom of the third. So they sent 8 men to the plate in the first inning, picked up 2 runs, then a 1-2-3 second. And they'll send 7 to the dish here in the third.
I think that's something that we've been waiting for the Cardinal offense. Certainly just any sort of a spark. But it's a relentlessness that this club needs to have. It's not just the one inning where you send 8 up there and then go quiet into the rest of the game. It's keep it up. Keep putting the pressure on. Keep the line moving. We're seeing a little bit of it.
And a breaking pitch taken inside. Little chopper hit to second. And Hudson retired. The 2-run homer hit by Tyler O'Neill, his second of the season and first since mid-April in the big leagues. He's driven in all 4.
Well, the Cardinals add to their lead with a 2-run home run off the bat of Tyler O'Neill, driven in all 4. Special day at the ballpark for one young man today, and more on that. Kick it down to Jim Hayes.
Yeah, 11-year-old Preston from Maryland Heights is a huge Cardinal fan, and he faces some very serious health challenges. He had one wish to meet some of his favorite Cardinals. Thanks to Make-A-Wish, Missouri, and the Cardinals, it happened today. Preston and his family got to go into the Cardinals dugout and get autographs and hang out with the players. He even got to ask the first question in Mike Schultz's media session. Preston has been through a lot and is an awesome, awesome young man. And guys, the work that Make-A-Wish does is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, absolutely. Preston having an incredible day at the ballpark, and I know that all the players, Mike Schilt, loved the first question. Really special day for him and his entire family, and I hope we get the chance up here to visit with him soon.
So we've got Lamb, Ahmed, and Kelly coming up. 6, 7, and 8 for Arizona, and that pitch a strike to Jake Lamb, who walked back in the second inning.
Well, the key for the rest of this game for me, for Dakota Hudson, is no more free passes. Go right at him, make him earn it.
A swing and a miss. Pitch in on the lefty is nasty stuff.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is one of the biggest adjustments Dakota Hudson has made from early into the season to the guy that he is right now, is being able to get that pitch in on the lefties and keep it there. It's a dangerous pitch for a sinker baller to throw, is that fastball in, because if you miss, it tails out over the plate right into the barrel. He's able to keep that in there. It's a big adjustment.
And a strikeout of Lamb to start the fourth inning. He has struck out now 3 of the last 4 he's seen and 4 of the last 6.
Got some really good feel for the curveball today as well, and you're noticing home plate umpire John Lipka. He's calling that low strike. He's calling the one just under it. Well, that sets up perfectly for a guy like Dakota Hudson. It's time to keep going to that.
Brings in Nick Ahmed, second round draft choice by the Braves in 2011. He played at UConn. From Springfield, Massachusetts. He was traded by the Braves to the Diamondbacks. That was a 7-player deal that sent Justin Upton to Atlanta. He's a guy that's very active, too, in the Arizona community, and we don't talk enough about the players that do give back. Now, we have mentioned Adam Wainwright and what he's done. Ahmed is heavily involved in the Arizona community with children. He's got an instruction class for 10 to 14-year-olds in the offseason, and then he and his wife, Amanda, established the Ahmed Family Double Play. That is to hope to end childhood cancer. Co-chaired a fantasy football league in 2018, and it was kind of like what Waino does with his. That all went to charity. Like hearing that stuff. So 2 outs, and you have a chance to take home that shirt. Pride Night returns to Busch Stadium Friday, July 26th. Purchase of a special themed ticket. Fans will receive a Cardinals rainbow tank top. Get your Pride Night tickets, cardinals.com/theme. Here's Carson Kelly. Walked his first time up. Former second-round pick by the Cardinals in 2012 out of high school. Third baseman at that time, and now catching in the big leagues. Went to instructional camp with the Cardinals, and that's when they moved him to catching. Gary LaRocque, who does a marvelous job in the minor leagues, said the first day, and Carson, for those of us that know him, I mean, it's hard not to like the guy. He's so upbeat, so happy. Will hold a conversation at any time. He's never in a bad mood, it seems like. And they said the first game that he played, and there's a pop-up. He's the catcher, throws the mask, everything's right, and boop, it's like Snoopy. You know, I mean, it falls like 5 feet away from him. And he kind of looks at Gary and just says, well, got a lot of work to do, Gary.
I'll see you early tomorrow.
Yep, I'll be back.
Well, that hard work has paid off, hasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, he turns himself into a very good catcher. He's going to get better and better back there. The bat plays. You think about that, too, for anybody that hasn't caught before. You play your entire life facing one direction on the field.
Good point.
And then you turn around and you see a whole different ball game. So that fly ball dropping, I mean, that's you've never seen an angle like that before.
And he draws the 2-out walk, number 3 tonight by Hudson. That's where you can complicate things as a pitcher, as you know, Brad, is walking the 8th place hitter with 2 outs. If you get them, then you go in that dugout, and I've talked to so many guys about that. You go in the dugout and you think, all right, got another inning under my belt. I start with the pitcher next inning.
Yes. No, it is huge. And again, the free passes, there's got to be things where in this inning maybe it doesn't end up hurting him, but to your point, next inning you're facing the bulk of the order.
So 1-0 the count. Merrill Kelly came up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Grounded to Carpenter, who got the force play at the plate. Then Dyson struck out. Marte flew out, and only 1 run scored in that inning. That's chopped foul. And he'll go and grab somebody's bat. Quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Oh, break time. I'll check my balance.
I'll call Mom. Mom! Hi! Okay, gotta go.
So does he grab one of his gamers, or is this a bat from one of the regulars?
Oh, that's got to be one of his. As a pitcher, you're always prepared to be sawed off at least once.
Like that?
Maybe twice.
I have to admit that I faced Brad Thompson, and if you could hit a big leaguer at fantasy camp, and I was sawed off.
Yeah, I got a little bit of firewood from that. I do appreciate that.
It was at least 52 miles an hour with good hard sink, though.
Yeah, it's a heavy 52.
It really was.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm. A nasty sinker coming in. At least you didn't hit me.
I tried. My command's not what it used to be.
Strikeout for Hudson, 2 in the inning, 5 tonight, midway through 4 here in St. Louis. And the top of the lineup coming up. From last night, Tyler Skaggs. And a night that the Angels had his mother throw out the first pitch and a no-hitter. Quite the scene.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just get goosebumps watching it again, and just for all of those things, losing one of your teammates, to honor him in a way like that, so many emotions, and to have an evening like that, a combined no-hitter, can't tell me somebody's not watching over them.
Combined no-hitter, the first in the state of California since July 13th, 1991. Tyler Skaggs' birthday. Carpenter is 0 for 2, pair of strikeouts. Tyler O'Neill is driven in all 4 for St. Louis tonight. Carpenter back in the top of the lineup. As Mike Schilt said earlier today with the assembled media, this is a position in the lineup that will be in a state of flux. You know, we're going to mix and match up there at the top.
Yeah, he said, look, in a perfect world, yes, they would love somebody to take the job and run with it. And day in, day out, you know who your guy's going to be. But right now, it's going to be about matchups. It's going to be about who ends up, fitting the bill better for that given day.
Two balls and no strikes on Matt Carpenter. Playing in at third, and a shift on the right side. And it's 2-1. Again, another low strike, and that's where John Lipka, the home plate umpire, wants it. Calling that low strike tonight.
Nice curveball right there by Kelly. Once again with 2 strikes, the extreme shift here. Matt Carpenter coming into play today had been shifted upon in 86.9% of his ABs. There's only 2 batters that have been shifted upon more. Jay Bruce and Cody Bellinger. It's not working against one of those guys.
Carpenter hitless tonight, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Next episode of Cardinals Insider, join Jack Flaherty and Harrison Bader. They'll go shopping for Schilt. Check in on life at AAA Memphis. Find out what new food item is now at Busch. Coming up on Cardinals Insider tomorrow at noon. Tough night for Carpenter with 3 strikeouts, and it brings in Jose Martinez.
Kind of surprised I wasn't interviewed for that "What is life in Memphis" like thing.
And what is life like in Memphis?
I got that one down pretty good.
That's hit to short. Nick Ahmed, who won the Gold Glove last year, puts it away. Memphis, a fun town.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're going to be in AAA, and we know that everybody wants to be in the big leagues. If you're in AAA, whether you're on your way up or you've been, up and down, you want to be in St. Louis. But if you're going to be playing AAA ball, man, that is a good place to play. Beautiful ballpark, good fans. Been doing a lot of winning the last couple of years. And that's something that's important within the Cardinal organization, is not just developing single individual players and their stat lines, but building winners.
And the 0-1 pitch. The Young pulls it foul. And that's fouled back. And if you can't tell, the fans are excited with that souvenir.
I mean, I'm thinking somebody made the grab.
Big fans of the women's national team, apparently, that just won the World Cup. Chance of USA. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, just missed a bit low.
Tell you what, a call that we've seen a couple of times. That pitch right there, just under.
So I'm told that it's a weather delay in Memphis tonight, and they've got us on the big board at AutoZone Park. Memphis Redbirds tweeting at us. Thanks for the awesome comments about Memphis and AutoZone Park. And your Twitter handle at BThompson48, at Danny Mac TV is mine. We're watching you guys during a delay in Fox Sports Midwest. Hopefully they get that one in. If not, sit back and take this one in. Always love it when the Cardinals in spring training will have a game, whether it's Memphis or Springfield. Springfield is a remarkable ballpark for AA competition. And it's important to be located near your big league club. So if you got to make a quick move, you can do it. As DeYoung hits a fly ball out to right. Section 136, their view here at the ballpark. Go get them, Memphis Redbirds. And thanks for watching tonight on Fox Sports. Glowing in his post-game conference about Daniel Ponce de Leon. Why not? After game one, our stats with Lowe's as a starter: 4 starts, 21 2/3, the ERA just above 1. And I know the folks in Memphis have seen that a time or two out of Daniel.
As Mike Schilt said, hard to ignore. Hard to ignore numbers like that, performances like that. Remember, I mean, he got the call yesterday around noon that he was going to start that game, and boy, he had a good one.
So here we go in the 5th inning, and Gerard Dyson, top of the lineup. Made the great catch robbing Paul Goldschmidt earlier in the ball game, and he's a pretty good defensive player. It's interesting that he has the names of deceased loved ones stitched on the fingers of his glove, and he said, "They are my angels in the outfield, father, uncle, sister, godmother," and I'm sure they all love seeing that. What a play, robbing Paul Goldschmidt. And a strike, 1-2.
An inning there that the Cardinals were able to put up a crooked number, but he doesn't make that play. Either it's a home run, worst case scenario, it's a double. Ends up saving a few runs.
Left center. Fowler. Yes, what a catch by Dexter in left center field. Treks that baby down. What a play by Dex. The very last moment put the arm and the glove up to get to this one.
This ball off the bat of the lefty is tailing away from Dexter Fowler. He has to run a long way and make a really athletic play. Big long strides from Dexter. Man, just able to get that. That's a triple if he doesn't catch that.
Easily. Fowler's numbers defensively in center field, by the way, if you look at it from a sabermetric perspective, have been really good. I mean, eye-poppingly good. So you can go by the eye test, you can go by sabermetrics, but anyway you add it up, really good play there.
And it shouldn't be a shock. I mean, that's home for Dexter Fowler. That's where he's seen most of the reps, knows how the ball comes off the bat. Huge play there.
Here's Ketel Marte from the Dominican Republic, the all-star rep for the Diamondbacks this year. First ever all-star game. He lines it to short for out number 2. Reminder, we have our 2004 reunion weekend coming up, and you can take home a jersey. That would be Chris Carpenter's. There'll be others. It's a mystery jersey on July 26th. And by the way, pretty good teams coming to town. The Houston Astros will be here in late July. Boy, are they good. Eduardo Escobar reached on a fielder's choice and also called out on strikes.
I wonder if, talking about the Astros, I wonder if teams are going to be able to do what the Astros were able to do, what the Cubs were able to do, is that basically tank, rebuild, and go from there. There are a lot of teams that are trying to do the same thing. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was.
Not through the next.
Not say it was easy. That's not fair.
Well, through the next CBA, I would think that there's got to be a floor.
I agree with that.
So you got to spend a certain amount of money. And
there are issues from the players' side, like probably lowering the age of free agency, as we saw older players not signed, and maybe the compensatory pick attached with free agents, which negated some signings. I'm sure they'd like to eliminate that.
I'm sure. The problem is with all of these things, and I agree with you, and I honestly think all those things are good for the game, but that's not necessarily how negotiations work. The other side's going to want something. So what are you going to give up to receive all the things that you want? It's going to be interesting. But it's great that, and it's not great that we're talking about a potential work stoppage in a couple of years, but the fact that the conversations are happening.
High fly ball deep right, and it is gone. It's a home run for Escobar, his 19th of the year. That was center cut and up in the zone, and Escobar delivers with a 2-out solo home run.
Eduardo Escobar well on his way. I mean, certainly going to be, barring an injury, a career year for him. As you mentioned, his 19th, trying to go in, and this is the pitch that we were talking about that Dakota Hudson has had so much success on this year, is the fastball. When he tries to go in, he gets it in. He doesn't let it leak over the plate. This one leaks over the heart of the plate, and that's the danger of going into a tough lefty. You got to make sure that you really, really get it in there. If you're going to err on the side of in, way off the plate.
And a ground ball left side. There's Carpenter, and he makes the play. And Christian Walker 0 for 3, 3 ground outs to Matt Carpenter. It's now a 4-2 game midway through 5. This fall, the start of a new era. Fox becomes the new network home of WWE's SmackDown Live. Catch all the action every Friday night beginning October 4th, and it's only on Fox. And from that to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt robbed the catch by Dyson back in the 3rd inning and reached on an error and scored a run in the 1st. Looking for his first hit against his former team. On the ground to Nick Ahmed. 1 away. Nissan drive of the game, the opposite field 2-run shot off the bat of Tyler O'Neill in the 3rd, and his 2nd major league home run in 2019.
Pretty hard to sneak a fastball by that guy, isn't it? Pulls his hands in, able to get to the one down the line, then drives that one away. Certainly Merrill Kelly knows that.
Off speed pitch. Grounder to 3rd, 2 quick outs.
Not shocking to see the well, would have been a diet of breaking balls.
To the single by Colton Wong. It's 6 in a row set down by this right-hander. 3 pitches at 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, you got a chance too here, and certainly tougher now with 2 outs. We got him up to 87 pitches already. I mean, this could have been that inning. Put together a couple of tough ABs, get the pitch count up a little bit, and run him, chase him from this ball game.
And the first pitch taken low to Dexter Fowler. Pitches by inning at the long 1st and 3rd. Defensive run saved metric to get a look at just how well someone's playing defensively. Right now, Dexter Fowler with 4 in center field, and that's tied for 4th. Defensive zone rating, he is 2nd. Outfield assists, he's got 5. And he whacks a base hit into right field. 2-out single to right by Dexter Fowler. Well, the bottom of the lineup has done the damage with O'Neill, Fowler. Wieters has been on base twice. Colton Wong 1 for 2.
Dexter says, I got your shift right here. Hit right through that thing.
Make sure you emphasize shift.
I think I said shift, and we'll find out in the next 7 to 10 seconds. We're okay. Yes, shift.
Here's Matt Wieters, who has walked and singled. That single was to left in an 8-pitch at bat. Shift.
Yeah. I mean, you mix that in. Shift. Mike Schilt. A couple of landmines.
Playing tonight, Goldschmidt. Thank goodness we have a Wieters. 2 outs, and that pitch in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Giants have Madison Bumgarner going tonight. 1-0 lead over Milwaukee. Keep an eye on that one. Reds and Rockies, they are scoreless and in a delay.
I know that the Giants have talked about with Madison Bumgarner that, they don't need to trade him and it's not urgent. Would you be surprised if in fact they didn't? Because I would. I mean, even if you want to sign him back, I think that you could sell it to him and just say, look, we're going to get some more prospects. We're going to bring you back, but we're going to make this team better.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if he stayed there. That's what I'm trying to say.
No.
Yeah. He's a franchise player and a focal point of their championships and was remarkable in postseason play. They do have Johnny Cueto coming back next year off of Tommy John. They've got another year of Samardzija. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if they just said, you know what, we're going to keep him. He's one of the most popular players in franchise history. We're talking about the Giants, and there's Zach Greinke. He'll go tomorrow. But, Bumgarner to me is one of the faces of the great era in Giants history.
Well, yeah, he might be the face. I mean, him and Posey, but what he was able to do in the 2014 postseason was amazing.
Every postseason it seems
you're
like.
right. Going to be a lot of calls about him. Certainly a lot of calls about Zach Greinke, who we just saw. Robbie Ray, last night's starter. Decisions to make for all these ball clubs, and that's why these games are so important for teams that are in the thick of things. And there are only a few teams that are fortunate enough to have wide margins and know essentially what their postseason life is going to be like.
Very close at first base with Fowler. He's got 4 steals. Greinke has 2 years remaining on his contract after this season, as the Diamondbacks gave him over $200 million in 6 years. Strike to Wieters and evens it up at 2-2.
Probably another arm that I'm sure plenty of teams are looking at is Marcus Stroman with the Blue Jays.
For sure.
Also one more year of of control on him, which everybody would look to.
Well, that's the same thing with Bumgarner too.
Yeah.
I mean, keep him. You got him one more year, but the highest value would be the stretch run and that extra year. Anxious times for both these organizations. If you're the Diamondbacks, you're saying, okay, we're in the hunt, but really, how good are we? And if you're the Cardinals, you're saying, well, we got a chance at the Central and the wild card, but how good are we?
Yeah, one, I think that the pressure, though, is way different. The Diamondbacks, I don't know if it's fair to say, but they're kind of playing with house money. I mean, you traded your superstar in Goldschmidt, had a lot of turnover. You're giving a lot of guys opportunities.
Hit into the shift, and Wieters retired.
The Cardinals, conversely, need to make a postseason push.
We head to the 6th, and it's 4-2. Well, as I said earlier, with the bases loaded, nobody out, it wouldn't surprise me if we look up and Dakota Hudson's pitching in the 6th. And here we are. He's got a 4-2 lead.
I like this. He was able to just get right back into it. He gave up the solo shot last inning, then got a ground ball right afterwards. He just appears to be more comfortable around the zone, bottom of the zone.
Adam Jones at the plate. Wherever he's been a popular player among the fans and his teammates.
He's been one of the best outfielders in the game of baseball. I mean, since he came onto the scene, I feel like a lot of that was lost in Baltimore.
Played 11 years for the Orioles and the all-time leader in homers, RBI, hits at Camden Yards. Drafted by the Mariners in the first round in 2003. Fly ball near the right field line. Martinez over and makes the catch. Dakota Hudson, closer look at his evening. BJC difference maker, ground balls.
That's what you expect to see from him. He'll get his strikeouts, but the name of the game for Dakota Hudson, it's that weak contact. A couple of broken bats already, 7 ground outs, and has made some big adjustments from the long innings he's had.
And speaking of Seattle, Adam Jones selected by them. This young man, Jake Lamb, 28-year-old from Seattle, Washington. Originally drafted by the Pirates, did not sign, and then a 6th-round selection in 2012 from the University of Washington. And as you might expect, he grew up a huge fan of Junior Ken Griffey Jr. and family had season tickets. Kingdome. He was a switch hitter until the age of 19, and he gave up right-handed hitting because Ken Griffey Jr. didn't switch hit.
Perfect. That's a good reason to abandon that.
Yeah. Fly ball again to right. Martinez with the catch and a hop. For fans that are watching the game tonight, Brad, we've seen that Dakota Hudson a couple of times will blow on his fingertips, and you'll see that from a pitcher when it's 50 out. But we started our game time temperature 91. It's a hot, muggy night. So why does a pitcher do that?
Well, I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has a different feel for it. I mean, his could be perspiration. You know, a sweaty day. You want to make sure you dry those things off. Maybe the rosin doesn't do it. It's all about the feel of the baseball. And the frustrating thing, even though they try their best to make them, you know, all uniform the same, but every baseball you get feels different. That's why you get mad in a ball game. You're feeling it, throwing the ball well, and the umpire throws one out on you. Then you get another one that feels like a cue ball.
Remember times in Cincinnati, John Lackey comes to mind. I think Chris Carpenter had one of those starts. John Smoltz certainly did. Recent memory where they would get the ball, a new ball from the catcher or the home plate umpire, and any ball that hits the dirt, it will be thrown out. So they're going to throw those balls out. Any ball usually in play is thrown out. And they talked about how slick the baseballs were, and at that time in baseball they called them Mississippi mud, and they rub up the ball. It's got grainy to it, sand and mud and different things to try to give the grip a better feel for the pitcher, but they just kept throwing them out. I mean, 6, 7 in a row.
Yeah, basically out of the bag. Here we go.
Yeah. And it was rubbed up by the clubhouse attendants of the home team, and maybe a little gamesmanship back in the day. Who knows? The 2-1.
Well, I know that Major League Baseball has toyed with the idea of, like they do overseas in Japan, of basically having a ball that's already tactified, and it comes out of the bag. There's no more rubbing it up. There's a little tack to it.
They were going to do that this year, and I asked Mike Schilt about that about a month ago, and he said they scrapped it. Some of the teams tried it in spring training, and the player reaction wasn't great, so they're going to try to refine that and maybe bring it back just to make sure that everything truly of what you can control is on an even playing field.
Well, that is a difficult thing, because you're just talking about, you know, clubhouse attendant that's rubbing up the balls. Everybody does it differently. Everybody you know, thinks, all right, well, this is the perfect amount for rubbed up baseball, or maybe this is it. Uniformity makes sense. I mean, if you can get the product that works and everybody seems happy with it.
Another foul ball.
Well, pitching is all about feel, and those fingertips that you see Dakota Hudson blowing on, that's the last thing. You're trying to reach way out there, get it off the fingertips. Got to make sure those things are right. Tell you what you can get on days like this too, where it's humid. You can get a little blister at the end of it. Hope that's not the case here. It looks like he's got a good feel to it.
Used to be a mud location. Remember talking about this a couple of years ago in Palmyra, New Jersey, and they would use that mud, if you will, and try to rub up the baseballs, get the firmer grip, the better control. And That is taken for a ball. Boy, that looked to be pretty good. It'll be the 4th walk charge to Hudson. And boy, this is close.
This is really close. I think the problem with the pitch is it wasn't exactly where he wanted it. He's trying to go down and away. You've got Wieters over there. He has to adjust to get back in. Kind of tough to get the borderline call when you miss to the opposite side of the plate.
It is an active wave right now here at the ballpark.
I was wondering why you kept standing up.
You catch on quickly.
It took 3 rounds.
And the 0-1 pitch to Carson Kelly. Taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kelly tonight, a pair of walks. Certainly, Torey Lovello, if Kelly would reach, would probably go to his bench and then to his bullpen. Pitcher spot due up next. Ground ball, may not have to worry about it. Carpenter, and out at first. Will they challenge? Apparently not. So charging in, Carpenter to Goldschmidt to get Carson Kelly. What's on Tap is presented by Budweiser, and we'll wrap up the series with the Diamondbacks tomorrow. First of 3 against the Pirates here at Busch Stadium beginning on Monday night. Day game on Wednesday, and then we're off to Cincinnati. 4 with the Reds, 4 with the Pirates, and an 8-game road trip coming up. Preston Dobbs is with us, a local superstar here at the ballpark, a local celebrity, a legend, if you will, because Preston is being honored as our Make-A-Wish youngster here at the ballpark. You got to throw out the first pitch. You got to meet the players. Now you're here meeting Brad Thompson. It's the dream of a lifetime to meet Brad. I mean, you know that. That's a big deal. So Preston is going to help us here this inning. Yeah, that's Brad and that's Preston.
And that's Preston on TV. Dude, you are on TV.
Yeah,
that is happening right now.
Yeah. And a bunt attempt by Colton Wong. And there's 1 away. This is T.J. McFarland, our pitcher, in relief of Kelly. So I said we weren't going to put you on the air, but are you okay with me asking you a question or 2?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it? Good. Well, I'm glad you are. Tell me about your day. What have you been doing?
First, when we got here, I got a tour around like Busch Stadium and everything, and then after that, I got to like go in the dugout and like see like all the seats and like where everybody sits and stuff. And then a little bit after that, we went to the bullpen, and I got to play like catch and stuff with like my dad and siblings and stuff.
Awesome. Did you throw any 2-seamers at your dad? Any sliders that he missed and it just hit right off his face or his chest?
Not really.
No? How's your arm?
It's feeling okay.
Lefty or righty?
Righty.
We'll still sign you.
I think so.
We'll get the contract going.
I think so. Now, Preston, you had the opportunity also to hang out with some of the players, be around some guys. First of all, who's your favorite Cardinal? Who's your guy?
Bader and Goldschmidt.
Nice. And I know you got a chance to catch up with both of them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pretty cool? That's awesome.
So what'd they tell you?
Basically like hi and everything, just like asked me how I was doing.
And how are you doing?
Good.
What's this experience been like?
Really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How old are you?
11.
I couldn't tell from the first glance that you're a Cardinal fan with your hair dyed red and spiked up.
Yeah.
So you're a pretty big Cardinal fan.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you from?
Maryland Heights.
Awesome.
And then I got a STL on the side of my hair.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that? Oh, yeah. I did see that.
You got all lined up.
Yeah. You got it all done.
So hey, do you think Dan or I can pull that off? That same do?
Probably not. There's Paul Goldschmidt. Oh, I didn't know. Did you ask a question to Mike Schill?
Oh, yeah, I got to ask him the first question.
And what was it?
I asked him, like, how it was for him, like, being the interim manager and then, like, getting signed and becoming our actual manager, like, how it felt to him.
He didn't tell you no comment, did he? And go on to the next person? He wouldn't do that, would he?
No. He said that I was the best question that anybody's ever asked.
Mike is awesome, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Good man.
Yeah.
There's a walk to Munoz, and it brings in Matt Carpenter, who has struck out 3 times. And I think you're going to change Matt's luck. You ready? You want to call this at bat? You want to do the play-by-play? Why not?
Not really.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, if he hits a home run, you gotta get into it. Will you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 out and a runner at first. Or even gets a base hit. How about that? We need to change his luck.
At least get on base.
That's what I'm talking about.
Boy, you're tough. You're a tough analyst up here. At least get on base. I like that.
It's accountability.
So you've been a Cardinal fan all your life, right?
Ever since last year, like in the summer, I would like go to my grandpa's, like help him with stuff, and he got me into the Cardinals because he's a really big Cardinal fan.
Is he here tonight?
No, he's at work, unfortunately.
Okay. I guess you're a Blues fan too.
Oh yeah.
I got some good news for you. Jordan Bennington just got a 2-year extension tonight.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh, they needed to sign him.
Yeah. And Layla is in the house. Have you ever met Layla?
No.
Okay. You know who she is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inspiration for the Blues in their run to the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
You play a lot of sports?
I'm not really on like any teams, but like at home, me and my brother will play baseball, sometimes hockey.
And that's grounded foul, and it's 1-2. Did you meet Ryan O'Reilly?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm. At Macy's a few weeks ago.
Did he have his teeth in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you think about the shift? Do you like it? You know what a shift is?
Yeah.
All right. I don't like it.
No.
No, I'm not a fan either.
Yeah.
But when Carpenter gets a base hit here, you're going to describe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't be nervous. Just let it rip. If I can do this, anybody can. Believe me.
Yeah.
And if I can do it and Brad does it, believe me, anybody can do it.
Oh, yeah.
So you're in good company.
Pressing the bar's not set incredibly high.
No, not at all. Preston Dobbs with us. 1-2 the count. As McFarland took over for the starter Kelly, who went 5 innings. So for your make-a-wish, this is what you wanted, huh, to come to the ballpark?
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Has it been what you thought?
Yeah. I wasn't even expecting to do this much.
Did they surprise you initially when they told you, hey, we're going to make your wish come true?
Mm-hmm. I was at a ballpark village. I went there for dinner, I think last week or something. And Brian came up to me, one of the Make-A-Wish workers, and he had a Fox Sports hat on, and
Well, we don't like to see that either, do we?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that like before the game, like they'll bring one family up and like explore the room up there. And I thought he was being real, kind of. And then I went up there and then I saw the video of Waka and basically saying that my wish was coming true. And then I was just so shocked.
That's awesome. Did you meet Michael today? Had you met him in person before, Michael Waka?
Yeah, I did earlier.
Okay.
You got to hang out with all the starting pitchers today, didn't you? You were with Waka. I saw you with Flaherty, Adam Wainwright. That's pretty cool.
And Michael is too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So 1-2 the count. Preston Dobbs getting ready to call the play-by-play. Come on, Matt Carpenter. Help me out here and come through. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Be a baseball player.
Awesome.
For the Cardinals. I want to be like in the outfield, mostly center. Inspired by Bader, yeah. All the diving plays he makes.
Can you run like Bader?
Yeah, I'm pretty fast, I think.
Good. 1-2 the count.
And base hit, Matt Carpenter. Finally.
I
I'll tell you what, I love the call, and I love your honesty. You're tough up here. I like it.
That was awesome.
You hold these guys accountable.
Yeah.
Nice work.
If I'm coming to the game, I want a good experience.
Hey, I'm with you. Now, Preston, you brought the luck to Carpenter, which we thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to call the next at-bat too with Martinez?
Not really.
No, you are. You got to do it. Okay? You're a good luck charm. We got to have you. Archie Bradley coming in after the base hit by Carpenter to right and called by Preston Dobbs. Cardinals baseball brought to you by Simon Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer, and by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. Now, Preston just told me, Brad, during the break, and Preston Dobbs is with us through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, that Tyler O'Neill told him before the game, I'm going to try and hit a home run for you. And he hit the home run tonight. So what we're going to try to do, and I'm going to see if the truck can't help us out, we'll find out who caught that baseball maybe and show the fan that got the souvenir. And if you know that fan, text them. Call it.
Martinez!
So close. You want that baseball, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's try to find who's got it, and maybe we can work out a deal.
Yeah.
Preston, God bless you. Great to have you here. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Daniel Ponce de Leon, very good start last night. We check in with Jim.
Dan, Mike Schilt said before the game they were in the process of working out a way to get Ponce some start. Schilt said, we can't ignore how well he's pitched. Schilt said they'd make it official after the game, but Dan, as you pointed out, Waka getting warmed up in the second perhaps may be a clue about that. And when Ponce was asked about his preference, starter or bullpen, Dan, he said, I'm just happy to be here. That's the right answer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And
Daniel looks like he'll get his shot. Remember how well he pitched last time he saw the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm sure that's part of the equation here too.
Very well could be. Look, as a pitcher, especially a young one, you don't have the call of when you get the ball. You don't have the call necessarily of what your role is going to be, but you do know this, that every single time you have a chance to go out there, you can make an impression. And Daniel Ponce de Leon has made a big-time impression, as has this young man, Giovanni Gallegos.
Here's Kevin Crone, the pinch hitter. Well, thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Preston Dobbs, his family coming by. He's 11, and Preston has left our booth. He's got another spot to get to, and he's dealing with a brain tumor. And as he mentioned, he wanted to come to the ballpark. That was his wish, and a chance to meet the players. And there's a swing and a miss. I love this. In his bio, it said favorites: sports, sports, more sports, talking about sports, playing sports, the Cardinals, the Blues, Emo's Pizza, playing Fortnite, spending time with his family, and playing board games. But I think sports won out.
I kind of feel like Preston and I could hang out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got common interests.
And we're going to try to show, as we told you, we didn't know this until the pitching change. We went to a break, and his mom said, Preston, did you tell Dan about Tyler O'Neill? And Tyler O'Neill said, I'm going to try to hit a home run for you tonight. And he's done that. Now, what we're going to try to do is find the fan that has that home run ball and see if we can't come up with an exchange of some sort. Do a little work here.
I got a feeling. I mean, there's enough resources around here.
So if you know this fan or people around where it was caught, and you can see it kind of go around there, let them know who's ever got that home run ball. And I know it's special to you, but it might be a little bit more special for this young man. And I bet we can work something out and try to make it well worth your while to give that home run ball up.
I'll tell you what, I got goosebumps as soon as he said that Tyler O'Neill told him, I'm going to try to do that.
Preston knows where his St. Louis roots are buttered too. You go to Emo's Pizza. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I like that the best.
Well, I mean, he's obviously got it figured out. He sat down here. If he hadn't had another visit, he's bouncing all over the place. You asked him to stay for the rest of the game and told me to take the night off. So
he said, take a hike, Dan. I said, okay. What a neat kid. And his call on Carpenter's base hit was magnificent.
Oh, he nailed it.
Got a base hit. Finally. And a swing and a miss. Gallegos has struck out 2 here in the top of the 7th.
It's that big curveball right there. Overhand curve by Giovanni Gallegos, and just gets in there, down and in. Thing looks like it's going to be a strike, and then, man, just drops off the table.
Crowd tonight, 46,152. The 12th sellout this year, 46,152. So we know it's a long shot, but we'd love to try to get him that baseball. And if you saw somebody out there, text your friends, let them know that the young man is looking for it. It's a special ball. We'll work out a deal. I guarantee it. Long shot, but we'll try. Here's the 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. Nothing at 2. Marte, the home run last night. He singled on a 2-0 pitch back in the first. Flied out to right with the bases loaded. Lined out to short. Lines one into the gap in left center on an 0-2 pitch. Second hit on an 0-2. And again, the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Eduardo Escobar, who had a solo home run to right.
Trying to elevate, ends up belt high. He's got some quick hands.
Yes, he does.
I mean, that's a pitch right there. Certainly not exactly where you want it, but oftentimes you'll get that fouled straight back because the guy's just off of it. Tell Marte not off of much.
So 2 outs and a runner at second base. Escobar checks in with now 19 home runs, hitting .342 with runners in scoring position, and that's strike 1.
Here it was in the 5th inning, just trying to go in, and the fastball leaked out over the plate. Good piece of hitting and a career year currently for Escobar. He had a monster year last year, split between the Twins and Arizona. 23 home runs, 84. He's already got 19 bombs this year.
No balls and a strike. Marte, your runner at second base, and the next pitch by Gallegos. Fastball misses low and away. Giovanni has gone from a guy that was maybe the secondary piece you thought about in the Luke Voit deal. Chasen Shreve has been called back up now to being used in these late inning situations and the tight spots. Game on the line for the Cardinals. Hit the other way. Now a quick word from Missouri Air National Guard.
Missouri Air National Guard. For more, visit goang.com/mo.
Trying to pick up his 3rd strikeout in the inning. Send us to the home half of the 7th with a 4-2 lead. 1-2 pitch. Gallegos to Escobar. Check swing and a foul ball.
So Gallegos climbs the ladder there on that pitch. Curveball that comes out of that same slot. If he's able to drop that thing under the zone, he's getting his swing and miss, getting his third strikeout.
Hudson, 6 innings, 2 runs on just 3 hits tonight. Struck out 5, walked 4, hit a man, and gave up a home run. Ground ball, backhanded, diving stop, and got him. What a play, Paul Goldschmidt. Multiple Gold Gloves in Arizona. Diamondbacks have seen that before. Nice play, and that saves a run, takes a hit away from Escobar. The diving stop, Goldschmidt, Gallegos, 4-2. Hyatt Regency St. Louis at the Arch offering an incredible Cardinals package. You get overnight accommodations, tickets to a weekend home game, personalized slugger bat, $25 credit to Brewhouse or Red Kitchen and Bar. Book today, 655-1234. Visit HyattRegencySt.Louis.com. Matt Andriese, the third reliever used now by the Diamondbacks. Saw him in Game 1 of the series last night. Reminder that it's a day game tomorrow, and it's our Chevy called to the pen. DeYoung, Goldschmidt, O'Neill. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And obviously, as you saw, it's a great, great organization.
Well, offensively today's certainly been all about Tyler O'Neill, driven in all 4, but looking for somebody else to get in on this action. Got to keep piling it on. I know the offense has been slow here recently. 4 feels like a lot.
Finally.
Easy, Preston.
That was funny. Andriese gets the first out. He's tied for 6th among the National League relievers, 4 wins. And he's a guy that can give you multiple innings. 10 different times this year he's gone 2 or more. Here's Goldschmidt. Reached on an error. Robbed then by Dyson in left center and also grounded out to third. Is that catcher's interference? It sure is on Carson Kelly.
Fastball just tailing inside. Carson trying to get that glove up and in there to corral it, and gets it out there too much. Cardinals get a break, and the man that's done all the damage here.
So here is Tyler O'Neill, who's driven in all 4 runs tonight. And strike 1. That'll be the 3rd error charged to the Diamondbacks. If you're wondering how you score that, that's an error on Carson Kelly, his 5th this season.
Well, let's see if we can keep a trend alive of all those errors scoring. First 2 have come across.
And it's taken low and outside. A big rip there. Big gap in left center. There's some news I want to pass along to the Cardinal family. Is Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. He'll be 84 in November. Was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer several weeks ago. He's visited Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. He's been hospitalized in his hometown of Omaha for the past 2 weeks. I know Bob is still watching us night in and night out. Keep him in your prayers. He'll begin chemotherapy likely on Monday. That'll be in Omaha. And some of us were privy to the information, and obviously Bob wanted to keep things fairly quiet. But he has sent a letter to the living Hall of Famers informing them that he has been battling pancreatic cancer. It's very serious. And Bob, know everybody here is pulling for you, and we know we'll see you on opening day. And we love you. Here's a 1-2 and a strikeout of Tyler O'Neill. We all know what a competitor Bob Gibson is, and he'll take this on every ounce he's got.
Oh, there is no question about it. And as you mentioned, there are so many people thinking about Bob and praying for him. And you know the ovation is going to be amazing come opening day next year.
And many after that.
For sure.
So 2 outs and a runner at first here in the bottom of the 7th. It's the one thing that's always amazed me about Bob on opening day. The man is 83. He'll be 84 in November, and he looks like he's 40 years old. Hops right off the car.
You never know.
How's everybody doing? Sure do love you, Bob. I'm thinking about you. 2 outs and a runner at first as Dexter hits a fly ball out to shallow left. We're all thinking about you, Bob Gibson, on this Saturday night. Well, Tyler O'Neill told our young Cardinal fan that's having his wish made tonight for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He hit a 2-run homer for him, and he met him. He's got a brain tumor. He's 11. He met him before the game, and Tyler said, I'm going to try to hit a home run for you. Well, we didn't know that before the game. That was their private conversation. And we didn't know until the young man was in the booth, and he told us during a commercial break. His mom said, Dan, do you know what Tyler O'Neill said? I don't know. I wasn't privy to the conversation. Well, Tyler told our son that he was going to hit a home run for him, and he did it. And so I said, well, let's try to get that ball. And the guys and gals in our truck that do such a remarkable job showed the highlights. We said, hey, if you know somebody out there that where the ball is, text them. Let them know that this young man has got a special treat maybe in the ball, and we'll figure out something to trade for the ball. Could be another souvenir coming here. Fowler back near the wall and plenty of room. Yeah, right. Just enough. Well, Jim Hayes has found the people that caught that ball. And Jimmy, take it away. What's going to happen here?
We didn't need any social media to get this done. I just did a little detective work. This is the Lutenager family. They're from Iowa. They came to the game. This is Travis and Lane Lutenager. These are the kids. This is Lily, and I think the ball bounced in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, did you know it was coming to you? Did you scurry for it? Were you scared?
Kind of.
But you ended up with the ball. Were the boys jealous when you got the ball?
Yeah.
Now, Travis, I got to say something because we were going to work out a deal here. Some autographed gear, some Cardinal swag, maybe some cash. Travis said they don't want anything. That's an awful nice gesture. I told you guys the story about Preston, the Make-A-Wish kid. You knew about the story, and you were like, no, here's the ball.
No, he's more than welcome to have it. I don't, he's gone through a little bit more than we have, so, anything we can do to help out. we're just happy to be at the game. Kids are having a good time, so no problem.
I got to tell you, if that were my kids and they got a ball, my son Tyler, he'd say, no, we got to get some in return. Your kids were like, no, let's do the right thing and give up the ball. You have nice kids here.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad they made the right decision.
Now, kids, someone said if we can get an autograph from Harrison Bader, you'd be good with that?
Yes.
Yes, you'd be good with that?
Yes.
Autograph from Harrison Bader?
Sure.
One autograph ball for each of you guys? You guys did a great thing. You and Travis, you have a wonderful family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, Danny, I got the ball.
I got a question, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Where are they from, real quickly?
They're from Iowa. Where in Iowa?
Okay.
Minneapolis, southeast Iowa.
Southeast Iowa. They made the trip here, and they did a really nice thing tonight, Danny.
They want to go to the game tomorrow?
You want to go to the game tomorrow on Danny Mac?
Oh, man, I wish we could. We got to get home.
They got to get home. These people, honestly, Danny, you have to force something on them. They don't want anything. They just want to do the right thing.
That's awesome. Great stuff, Jimmy, and thank you to that wonderful
you, guys.
family. Thanks so much. Man, that is phenomenal. Preston Dobbs has a 2-run homer baseball coming his way. Thanks to Tyler O'Neill. Told him we try to hit a home run. He did it, and the ball is coming his way. Chevy called to the pen. Andrew Miller to face Lamb, and this is the matchup we had last night. And how odd was it that he gave up a home run? Lamb's first home run off of Miller was his first off a left-handed pitcher since all the way back in 2017. On the flip side, Miller's first career appearance where he faced only one batter and allowed a home run. Well, that's a guy's been around for a while.
Yeah, no kidding. This is the beauty of baseball, though. You get right back at it. Didn't go Miller's way. It was a slider after, by the way, the at-bat. I mean, it set him up with a really good slider, nice fastball earlier, and just left one there. Get the opportunity here to get the upper hand.
And that pitch taken in, 3-0. Well, Mike Schill going right back to him, and you can understand why. This is his spot, Miller, but it's also the night right after. You want to get back out there, too.
Well, I think that we've seen Miller outside of this walk here. He's been better the more work that he's gotten.
And Mike Schill will make a double switch, it looks like here. So Miller comes in, gave up a home run to Lamb last night, comes in here with 2 outs and nobody on, and walks him. You can see also Mike, I think, questioning the strike zone there, where where were those pitches? Is Carlos Martinez will make his first appearance since the All-Star break. And everybody's favorite, Harrison Bader, going into center field. We are back in St. Louis with the tying run coming up at the plate. Reminder, this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. So here's Carlos Martinez. Harrison Bader, part of the double switch, and takes over in center. Munoz shifting to left, Fowler in right, and here we go. Tying run at the plate. Nick Ahmed. Strike one.
Nick Ahmed comes into this ball game 0 for 10 in his career against Carlos Martinez. Struck him out 3 times. So very good matchup here for Carlos.
That sinks down for a ball. It's a big hack from the shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Boy, he was sitting on a 1-1 fastball, and he was trying to tie it. He's got 9 home runs.
Yeah, some sneaky pop. Well, now Carlos has got him in a really good position. That sweeping slider down and away. Ahmed close to the plate, so he's trying to take that away from him a little bit, but going to be hard to slow up if he's able to throw that one that starts right on the outer half and goes off.
And the 1-2 pitch. Changeup missed. Two and two the count. Tying run at the plate. 4-2 game here in the top of the 8th. And time is called. Cardinals will have Wieters, Wong, and Munoz coming up. He got him to chase and a strikeout to end the threat. So the walk by Miller, but no damage done. The strikeout for Carlos Martinez. It's 4-2 midway through. Phillip at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more. Get 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a future game. Phillips 66. And Reese, his second inning of work. The folks over at Ballpark Village, will they be celebrating tonight after a Cardinal win?
They're going to be celebrating. They're probably going to boogie over there a little bit later, Dan. That's what I would think.
I think either way, you might be celebrating with some of St. Louis's finest or drowning your sorrows. Either way, it'll be over at Ballpark Village.
Well, it's a party. Be nice to add on, though, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Cardinals a couple in the first, couple in the third, all off the bat of Tyler O'Neill. Time to invite somebody else to the party.
So Wieters leading it off. He has walked, singled, and also grounded to second and fouls it back. Kelly, the starter. 5 innings tonight. And after that, McFarland, Bradley, Andres. And that pitch taken down and outside. I like what that gentleman from Iowa had to say. Well, we're enjoying ourselves. We're taking into a ball game here with our family. And thick and thin, wins, losses, coming to the ballpark, there is nothing like it. Little chopper as he's trying to go the other way against the shift. And there they are, and I'm sure their phones are blowing up right now, and as they should.
That's cool. A cool moment, getting the ball, giving it back to young Preston, who's here. And Tyler O'Neill told him he'd hit a home run for him. He does so. You know, we spend a lot of time griping about the offense is struggling, or this is bad, that is bad. Look, life is more than a couple of hits here and there.
You bet. So he obviously was going against the shift. He's done this a bunch. I don't know if you picked up on that, but that swing is by design.
Well, it's also just smart, and you can definitely tell he pulls the hands in right there and is just looking to shoot it the other way. That's good bat control. You don't always have to try to hit the home runs. We know that he's got some power. Sometimes it's just getting somebody on. We've seen that in this ball game. A couple of errors came around to score because you put the ball in play.
Here's Colton Wong showing bunt and pulls back.
I'll tell you what, too, just showing it right there. Lamb was already in, but he's certainly on his toes even more. That little difference, that first step in. If Colton's able to shoot one right there, nobody at shortstop, big gap there. That little step, that thought that he might drop it down could be the difference.
1-0 the count. One ball, one strike. Third baseman playing in. That's Jake Lamb. Dropping down a bunt and advancing Wieters to second base. They may have had a play at second, but they want to get that sure out. Reminder that St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Toyota, let's go places. With Brad Thompson, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Munoz walked back in the 6th inning and then was picked off as he was a pinch hitter for Dakota Hudson and then stayed in the ball game.
It's that time again. The Cardinals there get a productive out. You lay down a bunt. You get a guy in scoring position. Now it's time to keep him moving, get him in.
Little chopper hit to short. Ahmed makes the play on the run. Wieters staying put at second base, and it brings in Carpenter. And if Preston is around, Preston Dobbs, we need him back because Carpenter was 0 for 3, 3 strikeout. By the way, there he is. Preston is up on the video board. He is the public address announcer now. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
He just announced Carpenter, so go ahead and write it down. It's going to be a 5-2 game with the luck of Preston Dobbs. Maybe even 6-2.
Look, after he hits it, we're going to get Preston back over here so he can give a call for it.
So he is taking over for John Hewlett. John Hewlett, longtime PA man here at the ballpark. And that pitch taken high. There he is. Preston Dobbs with the spike, the red hair. That's Preston's brother behind him. I think Benjamin is his name. And he's got the STL on the side of the head. I mean, he came ready. That's a fan, man. One ball and one strike. Preston Dobbs with the play-by-play of the year when Carpenter got the base hit. Ended it with an exclamation point. Finally.
He was just ready. Been waiting.
He was ready.
Waiting the whole game.
That's what he meant.
For that moment. And he knows. Matt Carpenter probably feeling the same way. All right, finally got this off my back. Now it's time to hit this home run.
And the 1-1. 2 strikes on Carpenter. Well, if Carp hits a home run, then we got to get a spot on the charter flights for Preston. He's going to start traveling with us.
I got a feeling that he'd be in on that.
I think he would.
You read the bio earlier. It's sports, sports, sports. Oh, yeah, when I'm not doing that, I'm doing some sports.
Well, runner at second base, so not the exaggerated shift even with 2 strikes. And a strikeout. So Carpenter strikes out 4 times tonight. Tough night for him. We head to the 9th. T-shirt of the month right there with the from the Lou, and I'm proud. Cardinals.com/promotions. That family right there in the middle, giving back the Tyler O'Neill home run ball. Family from Iowa. Their phones have been blowing up. You should tell them, if you're a friend of theirs, you might want to stick around tomorrow. We're going to take care of them with some good seeds.
Be great.
Yeah.
Another day. I mean, it's still summertime. Can't have anything that big to get to.
I'm going to make sure that we have the right numbers on the scorecard. We'll hand it over to Preston after the Cardinals win this ball game.
I think that's pretty cool too. I want to take yours. I scribble on mine.
I do a lot too. I wish I would have known, but you know, do the best I can. There's Carson Kelly as Martinez is trying to finish this one off. Jim Hayes, who has that baseball, has just told us he's going to get Tyler O'Neill to autograph it, and those two will meet after the game to get the exchange.
Pretty
awesome.
Special, man. What a day.
Awesome, awesome. Hyundai pitch arsenal there on the right-hander. And the 1-2 pitch. Hit out of play.
I'll be interested to hear after the game what Tyler O'Neill's feelings were after hitting that. Had to be pretty special.
You bet. Carlos has come in and picked up back-to-back strikeouts. Budweiser player of the game, Tyler O'Neill. This was early on, a double, just fair down the left field line. That would drive in two after an error, and then O'Neill went deep. And he said that one was for the young man that we had up here, Preston Dobbs, Make-A-Wish kid, if you just joined us, that met Tyler before the game, and he said, I'm going to try to hit a home run for you. And he did it. Domingo Leyva pinch hitting and lines one foul. And that's strike two. Cardinals pitchers have combined for 9 strikeouts of Diamondbacks tonight. Here's the 0-2. He got him on a strikeout, 98 on the gun. It's 3 batters he's seen. All 3 have struck out.
Well, this time it's just the heater trying to go upstairs. Does so away off the plate. Tell you what, you lose a closer like Jordan Hicks to Tommy John. I think a lot of teams would be in some big-time trouble. Dakota Hudson did a great job today. Carlos Martinez has been fantastic at the back end of the pen.
He was in big-time trouble. Hudson was. At the bases loaded, nobody out early on in this game. Gave up 1 run and settled in. Dyson, ground ball to first. Goldschmidt is there. And that win is for Preston Dobbs. Our good luck charm here in the booth. 4-2 the final. Nicely done by Tyler O'Neill. Great gesture from that family. And a lot of fun here at the ballpark.